everybody. Welcome to another Nacho Tuesday. And today I have Phil Lee with Foxit Software. And today we're going to talk about how to bring your SaaS products to market successfully. So without further ado, I'd love to hear from Phil about Foxit Software and kind of what you guys are working on over there.
Yeah. Hey, Andy. Great to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and the audience. Really, what you guys are doing kind of falls in line with our strategies and initiatives. Basically, if you're to ask me for like a 1-minute elevator pitch of what Foxit is, all right. So Foxit Software is a leading provider of innovative PDF and e-sign solutions. Our products such as Foxit PDF Editor, Foxit eSign, Foxit Reader, and our Foxit Mobile PDF and Foxit's PDF SDK, we empower millions of users worldwide to create, edit, sign, and secure PDF documents, streamlining collaboration and productivity. So we cater to all sizes of businesses, government, individuals, enterprises, SMB, micro businesses, with the cost-effective and high-quality solutions. But most importantly, it's backed by the best support in the business, and this has been documented by many third-party institutions that measure that. And to fulfill our vision, Foxit's currently migrating to a subscription-first and channel-first approach, and that's kind of why we came to NachoNacho was because of your indirect channel and to promote our subscription or SaaS products. So
Great.
hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
All right.
Probably about right on the dot with a minute too.
Okay.
So you're the Chief Commercial Officer over there, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I've been here about 13 years. I started off really as the first initial individual contributor. The founder, Eugene, and the CEO, George, asked me to begin building a direct sales team. And I started that 13 years ago. I went from one to a team now that's probably over a couple hundred. So it's been a very fun ride.
Yeah, so tell us more about your backstory. How did you get started in technology?
So that's a good question. There's three things that I really emphasize when you're looking at a business career or life. And those three things are purpose, passion, and team. Purpose is something that the company is provide your direction. Passion is internal, right? What drives you? And I was fortunate enough to get into the document management space out of college by selling copiers. From there, I migrated to the archiving and the microfilm and technology. And then from there, I started dealing with some of the digital transformation in the very, very, very early days.
Wow.
And, back then in the late 80s and early 90s, the file format that was de facto was TIFF. Yep. And we had a customer, a very large one, that wanted to distribute their information in PDF, Andy.
Yep.
And I said, I heard of that. And I downloaded the Adobe Reader. I think it was 1.0 or something like that, maybe 2. And opened up a file and went, wow, TIFF is dead because of the UI. And then from there, embracing PDF, I found my passion. I found the technology fit. I found the early days of the digital transformation, and it really got me engaged. And from there, I got heavily involved in PDFs and new technologies around PDF. I had a startup that was very successful. And then I moved to Adobe, and from Adobe, I came to Foxit Software, and that's my personal story.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of document management. Sounds like you've been there since the beginning. So
yes.
Thank you for that.
If you saw my gray hair, see my wrinkles, I've been around for a while, and yeah.
I've been around since documents were actually something you'd write on.
That's right.
Awesome. So today we want to discuss, hopefully we can pick your brain because you have a lot of experience here. We'd love to learn more about, bringing a SaaS product to market. And, one of the first questions we had was, how do you identify a good ICP early on, ideal customer profile?
Yeah. So identifying the right ICP, really it starts with understanding the target audience's pain points, needs, and expectations, right? You got to do your market research. you have to examine industry trends and talk to potential customers to refine your ICP. I mean, a lot of it comes from gut. Most entrepreneurs have a gut feeling. I've been in this industry. I've seen something. I have some idea, or my experience, even in working in a particular industry, was poor, and I thought I could do it better, right? And so you iterate, you optimize your targeting as you learn about the market. And, in essence, it's the same old saying, you learn, you adapt, and you change.
Yep.
So again, do your research, identify who that product market fit can be, start interviewing, doing prototypes, getting feedback, and then you launch, right? But you never know until you launch. That's
Yeah. I've seen it in many cases. A lot of people they have their ideal customer profile in mind, but it could be somebody completely different even. And so they spend a lot of time trying to bring something directly to that audience. But a lot of times the audience is going to tell you things, and if you're listening to them, you could adapt, and you could adapt your product accordingly to kind of better fit their needs, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. I think, what's key is to having that user interface that at least the customer understands what you're trying to deliver, and they're able to navigate to see the value that you're presenting them. I mean, and then if you talk to too many people, everybody has a different opinion. But, some people are fortunate when they have an idea, their gut or their experience has been well enough defined that they can communicate that to R&D. You can do that with your UI design team, and you can launch a product that's really successful from the people that know about it, right? You still got to get people to know about it. You got to make them aware, and that's a whole nother aspect of it. But keep trying. The idea of build and they will come. A lot starts that way, in my opinion. But I wouldn't be disappointed if you build it and you have to rebuild it, and then you have to rebuild it, and eventually they do come. So
that's usually the case, actually.
Yeah.
It's usually never the first iteration of it that really works the way it's intended.
Yeah.
So how do you discern between all those different points of feedback, right? That you made a good point, actually. A lot of people have opinions. How do you kind of dial in which opinions really matter, and get through all the noise there?
So, Andy, in my experience, it's what market are you going after? Is it a consumer product? Is it a micro business? Is it SMB, or is it truly an enterprise product, right? And everybody's going to give you different reasons on what they're looking for in order to solve the problems. An enterprise, may be more concerned about updates and deployment, to scale. A small company might be more concerned about your customer support, so they can learn the product, or if they have a problem, who can they call and how can you hold their hand, to get them to use the product to solve the problem that they thought they were buying the product for. So I don't have the perfect answer. If people out there do, I mean, there's a lot of books that are written around that topic. But those are some of the things I think that. It's just trial and error. If I had all the answers, I would probably be in a different place today, most likely on my own island doing something.
Running the world, actually. Yeah, they say a true wise man knows that he knows nothing. So we're always learning and asking ourselves questions and trying to improve one little bit at a time.
Yeah, agreed. The smarter I get, the more I realize I don't know. So.
Yep, same here. So what other tips would you have we have a lot of startup founders that follow our channel and use our marketplace. What other tips would you have for maybe some of the earlier stage entrepreneurs for bringing their product to market successfully?
Well, that's a good question. I think first off, you're going to have a passion and a gut feeling on what you want to bring to market. And I think you can never do enough research, but you have to do initial research to make sure that there is a good product market fit. I think communication from your ideas to the R&D team, and then how to understand what the product value is to the customer base, and then communicating that to your marketing team, and then leveraging all the aspects of digital marketing to find those potential customers, I think is key. But if I was to really summarize, is have milestones that are achievable in the early stages, and make sure that you have early indicators that you are reaching those milestones. Pick a specific customer or a specific beachhead and go after it with all the gusto that you can, ensuring that what you thought you were developing, these particular beachheads or customers agree with you. They buy into it. They're early adopters. They give you the feedback that you need so you can improve the product based upon end users' experience. And I think if you can do that, that would be great. Don't be afraid to fail. I mean, the only time that there's been a lot of people, a lot of things are stated, but true time that what you really do learn is when you do fail, right? But you adjust, you go back at it, and the key is just don't make the same mistakes twice. So, some of the questions of an early SaaS is, what can I do on my own? Another one is, what's the best way to raise money? And then it's, what's the best way to raise money and keep as much equity as I possibly can, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's a stair step. And I don't know if I'm answering your question specifically.
No, I think you hit on a couple important points there.
Yeah. I think it's just that you have to be all in. I mean, that's what most entrepreneurs are. They are all in, right? And I think if you are, and then you build a team that comes all in with you, I think that's the best start you possibly could have.
That's a great point. So what would you define as the moment of product market fit? Is there a signal that an entrepreneur could look for that would just tell them that, yes, I think we have something here. I think this thing's ready to scale?
When people start buying it.
Yep. And the word of mouth too kicks in, right?
Yep. You start generating the revenue that you expected in order to, eventually get a positive cash flow and then scale off that. It's, there are people that have created products in which it's entire greenfield. Foxit, in our case, we created a product that competed against a behemoth Adobe that invented PDF. Right. So our approach to find that right product market fit was, a couple ways. Someone looking for a better return on the investment from a spend standpoint, maybe diversifying the amount of software companies that they do business with, so they don't have so much risk. But when we started off with, we did what Adobe did. We had a free reader and we had a paid for editor product. And so we had to find the right people in the right places that were looking for an alternative. And in the early days when we were smaller, it was a little bit easier. As we get bigger and bigger and realize that we have to penetrate into the enterprise, it becomes more of a challenge. You have to pivot.
Yep, definitely. What do you see as the new opportunities over the next few years for software? AI is obviously a big buzzword now, but
yeah, I think that when you look at that question, it is AI or machine learning, right? I believe that's something that I would see as great opportunity to leverage, AI or machine learning technologies specifically to help knowledge workers be more productive. When you look at AI, you could say, well, we're going to remove knowledge workers. That's the biggest threat. But if I was a knowledge worker, I would think I would embrace that technology and in order to make myself more productive. In fact, I don't know if this is the right platform, but Foxit announced today that we're incorporating ChatGPT into our PDF editor solution stack. Right, we're integrating ChatGPT's AI assistance module into our PDF Editor Pro Plus product line. And that takes advantage of AI generated content, right? And it makes users more productive. I mean, I use ChatGPT. So as I saw it, I started adapting to it. I'm not a young man, but I feel I have a young mind. And in order to stay competitive in today's world, you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to embrace technology. And I look at that technology as a better way to help me communicate. To be honest, it writes better than I do, right? So why not leverage it?
Yeah, a lot of people use Grammarly these days too.
Yeah,
They have a new AI feature to actually help you with some of your writing to catch some of the things that sometimes we miss. So,
yeah,
yeah, there's an explosion of tools coming out right now built on OpenAI. It's incredible.
it is. I mean, the things that we can do. It is amazing, and there's a part of you that can be fearful for it, but I think it's also, how do I get involved? How do I leverage it? How can I take my current set of tools that I market and incorporate AI to make them better? And that, I think that's key, and I think that is something over the next, I think 5 years is a long way down the road, but even the next year to 3 years, figuring that out is going to be key to success, at least from the view from the street investors, and also from your end users.
Yeah, we're definitely at NachoNacho finding quite a few ways to incorporate it as well. So,
Yeah,
we're very excited about some features we recently launched and some that we'll continue to launch over the next few weeks, which we'll announce shortly.
I'd love to learn that. That
Everybody's has a new AI thing coming out.
yeah, that's true.
So what do you think a lot of people get wrong about their product development? If there's like one thing a lot of entrepreneurs just completely miss that causes a product to fail?
Build it and they will come.
Mhm.
So
Not too much on that.
yeah. So I mean, most people from an entrepreneur, if they have a technology background, I always use this analogy is, and sometimes it's right and sometimes it's not right, but developers oftentimes build a product that they think works best, as opposed to the product market fit or what the customer thinks will work best.
Yeah.
And they're not the customer, but they're the builder. And I think that's something that happens too often in technology, is you get caught up on missing who the end user, or who the end user customer is. And the other thing I think is not only how good your product is, and if it's a perfect product market fit, you're still going to have to heavily invest in marketing to create awareness.
Yeah.
And you have to understand digital marketing, understand how to leverage those tools, understand that how to transform or migrate someone who might be interested in your products from an unknown visitor to a known visitor, and then use all the tools available to drive that end user further down the sales funnel until eventually they purchase. You got to get people to purchase. You got to have great customer success, and then the word of mouth and leveraging it across all the social networks, from influencers to advanced marketing approaches is key. So, but I mean, to really answer your question, is it's more than just build it and they will come. It's always building it and make sure that you have to rebuild it and rebuild it and rebuild it.
Yeah,
So,
gotta be open to that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's never the first iteration, like we mentioned, right? So
it has been sometimes, Andy, not often, but
a lot of times they don't hear about the other iterations. They just hear about
yeah,
the hit, like OpenAI when it came out. How long have they been in development for?
yeah, yeah.
Definitely. So do you know of any commercialization trends that entrepreneurs should be aware of over the next few years? What are some new opportunities, I guess, for early stage entrepreneurs to get their SaaS product out there successfully?
So I don't know if this is more of an early stage, because I mean, it's a really good question. But let me kind of change the question on the fact that it's the customer data platform, or understanding who the customer is and identifying them so you can drive them further down the sales funnel. I think that's really key. As CDPs become more, customer data platforms become more prevalent. I think it's more of a later stage than an earlier stage. But when I think about that question, I guess if I'm an early stage entrepreneur, and what can I do from a go to market strategy, is surround myself with mentors that have done it,
Mhm.
okay, and can tell me some of the obstacles that I'm going to be presented with, and how they were presented with the same obstacles, because almost everybody has the same journey, and how they overcame them. And there's a lot of technology groups out there that offer these types of mentorship or gatherings. So you can just ask as many questions on what someone else did who's already done who's already accomplished what you're trying to accomplish. And you just try to get as much information from them as possible. And then be very humble and realizing that you're a smart person. You're bringing something to the market, but you don't have all the answers, mainly because you haven't been in the same situations that other people have, and go and get that information from them and learn. That would be my best suggestion.
That's such a great point, actually. Yeah, there's no point to kind of learn from other people's learn from your own experiences the hard way when you can learn from other people that have already been through it.
Yeah. Learn from other people's failures, right? Because people are going to tell you. I mean, the right people tell you, yeah, this is where I failed. This is what I did wrong, and if I could do it all over again, I would try it this way. But I wish. What's the saying? I wish I knew then what I know now. I would do things differently. I wouldn't be quite as stubborn. So.
Could you maybe expand on that? Could you maybe tell a story or experience where you experienced failure, and what did you learn from it?
Well, the one thing I think when I talk about, if I was to talk about failure, so one thing Foxit did a little less than 2 years ago is we made an acquisition of an e-sign company, right? At that time, Adobe was already in e-sign. You had DocuSign, et cetera, and some of our other competitors, and we knew we also had to get into that marketplace. So we partnered with eSign Genie, came together through an acquisition, and we thought we would easily be able to take that technology and expand it in our existing customer base.
Yeah.
But we thought we could do it easily, make a few phone calls, have a couple of email campaigns, and it was a little bit tougher to do it than expected. And we didn't meet the goals that we wanted to meet in the first year. And why is that? Well, we didn't have the best handle on who our customers were. Okay. Yep. So when they came, were they existing customers? If they're evaluating us, what products did they have? Would they be a prospect for this new technology? And it all kind of wrapped around the fact that we needed a better customer data platform. So out of that failure, it actually gave me and others the ideas. Okay, this is what we need to do, and then we started investing in that, and it's going much better now. But it just from the standpoint that all we got to do is buy this piece of technology, give it to our existing customer base, and they'll buy it. It's that simple, right? And this will just didn't quite work out that way. Took a little more work.
Implementation's everything, right? It's just the start of it.
Yeah, it was implementation. It was also Foxit was known as a PDF company, not as an e-sign company, and getting the word out and the awareness out that we offer both, and then having a compelling value proposition. It's something that took us time to refine.
I was also going to ask about a product a success story in your experience. It could be your company or it could be another. What's one example of a product that was brought to market successfully, and why do you think that was so successful?
So, as I mentioned earlier, I've been in PDF a long time. One of the things that I did early in my career is we distributed technical information to non-technical users, technical document information. And that was done in various forms and fashion, either through paper or through microfilm or through digital images. The one thing that we found out was telephone technicians in the field, all of you, right? No matter where you are, AT&T, Verizon, If you get a landline, or now more importantly, if you get glass or connection into the internet, they have to come out and hook up the system. And in order to do that, they have to have all the information that shows where all the facilities are.
Mhm.
So being very PDF centric, this was a challenge back in the early 2000s. How do you get this very technical mapping data to a non-technical person that drives around in a truck all day in a way that they can digest it and make them more efficient? And we did this through PDF. And what made it really take off is we made the PDF files, when we published them, they were location aware. So we had invented a way of putting location-based technology into a PDF file or a PDF map. This was in the early 2000s. It was us. You had like the Keyhole guys, which ended up being Google Earth. You had ESRI. You had all these technical solutions out there. And we came up with this idea of doing it all with PDF. We brought it to Adobe. Adobe said, that is fantastic. But more importantly, the customer base loved it. It was very successful. We had our lighthouse accounts in which we delivered very technical information to the military, to the intelligence community, also to the gas, electric, and telco communities. And we did it so successfully because we leveraged PDF. More importantly, the ease of use of the PDF applications at that time was Adobe Reader and Adobe Acrobat, in order to deliver very, very technical information in a means that could be consumed by non-technical people. And it was like one of the greatest success. We got it right the first time, Andy.
Yep. Wow.
Unbelievable, right? But it was a very niche market.
Yeah, it sounds like you really understood your customer, though, like we mentioned before.
Yes, we really did. We were just involved with them. And it was funny. The way that this technology was really embraced was in two different areas. One was in the commercial world through telecommunications. The other one was in the government and defense. But in both instances, it was the amount of time it took to train a person to use the product was literally less than a half hour.
Oh, wow. And
the feedback that they gave to you was just like, oh, this is easy. I love this better than this other product that was driven off a database. It just was easy to use. And the reason is when Warnock invented PDF, one of the founders of Adobe, it was, it's the way a computer communicates to a human being was the idea behind the portable document file format. And we were just fortunate enough to come across this opportunity to develop a solution using the de facto PDF standard in order to deliver very technical information to non-technical people. And it was a lot of fun. But that's my best story. And I was heavily involved in that. There was a number of people that made that very successful.
That's great to hear about that. So what's next? What's next for Foxit? We're very excited about the AI features and whatnot that you're talking about. Anything else that we should be looking forward to down the road?
Well, I mean, we aim to become a global leader in digital documents solutions. I mean, we're looking to expand our product suite with capabilities utilizing AI-driven innovation. We're also really looking to form more strategic partnerships through the channel, like yourself, and have global market expansion to reach more customers and enhance their individual productivity. So we actually went public a couple years ago. So we have enough capital that we can expand both internally and externally. And the whole idea is really bringing, actually utilizing PDF and expanding it to very specific use cases and taking a deep dive more than a horizontal approach. And we have a strategy that we are focused on, that we do expect to execute on and then eventually become very successful at. So we're going to continue to do what we've done, try to do it better and broader in the next few years, Andy.
Well, sounds like you're the guy to do it.
I do want to stick around a few more years. Yes.
There you go. Well, Phil, it's been a pleasure having you on today. And for everybody interested in Foxit software, they have several products. You could find them today on the NachoNacho marketplace.
Yes,
I believe they're 10% off. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, these amazing products built by people that know what they're doing. So if you guys are looking for any other technology, they have an e-sign reader, the PDF tool, and what was the other one as well?
So we have a comprehensive PDF tool that does anything and everything all around PDF. We also have a very scalable e-sign solution that supports any type of workflow for all types of e-sign capabilities, electronic signatures. We also have an SDK in which you can enhance and build your own PDF solution. Specifically, the SDK was used by Google. All of Google's PDF technology is driven by Foxit's technology, as well as Amazon Kindle. Most people don't know that. And Amazon was an early investor in Foxit many years ago. So those are the product lines. If you look at Foxit, we're everything, all things around PDF and e-sign. Easy to use. Most importantly, if you get caught, you can email or call a customer service rep, and they will talk to you.
Sounds like great technology, and you guys know what you're doing over there. So looking forward to the next features that you guys roll out, and looking forward to a long continued partnership. Once again, everybody, check it out today in the marketplace. NachoNacho is the #1 place to manage, discover, and save on SaaS. Once again, Phil, thanks for your time today, and we look forward to working with you far into the future.
Thanks, Andy. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Thank you. All right.